So here we go. I'm clicking record. This is now recording. And we're going to go over this lesson. Guys, for the next month, we're going to be writing uh, articles. And you guys might have known this already. The school has an online school paper that has been shut down for forever. Like when I say forever, I mean like literally since like pandemic. There have been like 10 new articles since school shut down. I'm the one in charge of the school paper, so I blame myself on this. But we are going to be going back to campus. At least some of us are in a couple weeks. And so I think it's time we start bringing this back again. All these most recent articles were all letters from last year's freshmen to this year's freshmen. But if you guys haven't seen the paper before, I'm going to go ahead and post in the chat. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of articles that have been published on the school paper. But this right here, these are just some of the most recent ones. But as you'll notice, a lot of stuff in March or February 2020, right before stuff shut down. Here, you guys remember this day? If you were on campus last year, tomorrow's rally is canceled due to coronavirus. The boys basketball state championship has also been canceled. Do you guys remember that? Oh my gosh. And remember in 2020 when Iran shot down an airplane? EHS will only have one lunch next year. Haha, we thought. Nope, EHS has 0 lunches because no one is on campus. Should Kobe Bryant be the new face of the NBA? This was after he passed away. Should teachers give out work over break? Haha. And now you guys have been at home for a year. Oh my gosh. Comics. Like seriously good stuff. Some of you guys need to read this one. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, for real. All right. So here are here's a school paper, and there's tons and tons more articles than just these ones here that you can find, but you guys are going to be writing stuff for the school paper. Now, I'm guessing most of you have not written an article before though. Can you guys tell me in the chat if you've ever read an article you've all read an article, if you've ever written an article before? Because it's completely different than writing an essay or writing a story. Now, a few of you guys have before. A few of you had. Alyssa did it in my freshman year when she was in my class. But most of you guys, this is a no. Most of you guys, this is a no. Now, I want to show you a few things about an article that are really going to help you out. And then we're going to actually write one here in class. Now, there are all sorts of different articles. Notice we have like these ones that like spotlight different people. So who is this one spotlighting? Just from the title, you guys can figure out. Who is this one up top? This whole article is going to be about who? Hint, it's in the description. Mrs. Stone Rock, right? The whole article is about Mrs. Stone Rock. Who is this article all going to be about? Crystal. And this one you can't actually see, but if I click on it, I thought this one was funny because Nicole is friends with this person. Nicole's the author. She's friends with this person, and she called it Taking Small Steps to Make a Big Impact because her friend is short. Her friend is Jasmine, though. I don't know if you guys know Jasmine. But this was cool. March is International Women's Month. And so like they were highlighting different women on campus. And then obviously, you know, pandemic was like, no, you aren't going to do that. So then it stopped. But that was kind of the series they were doing. There was lots of cool stuff on here. But I want you guys to kind of see, like, there's that. They'll spotlight things around town. How many of you guys have been to Crab and Spice? A few of you guys have. Abby has. And then Lancaster Performing Arts Center. Then they're doing like news around like school. They're doing like news about like culture and stuff like that. They're giving advice over here or finding out opinion stuff. Should teachers carry guns on campus? Do people like Vans or Air Force Ones more? Should teachers give out work over break? And so they do like all these surveys. Now, here's a question, guys. Here's a question for you. This is called Should Teachers Give Out Work Over Break? The author is Alexandra. Do you think Lexi, that's her nickname, do you think Lexi wrote her opinion in this article? Or do you think she wrote other people's opinion? I'm really glad we're talking about this. In articles, guys, you don't write your own opinion. You write other people's opinions. In articles, you don't write your own opinion, you write other people's opinions. So can you go ahead and tell me, when you are writing an article, Whose opinion are you focusing on? Yours or other people's? Other people's. Now, those other people might agree with you, but you're still going to focus about their other people. So look, she got Michael's opinion, she got Anthony's opinion, she got Gabby's opinion. Oh, I miss Gabby. She got opinions from Stanford University. She got Kira's opinion. She got Thomas's opinion. She surveyed 100 students and got their opinion, 100 Eastside students and got their opinion. She got Trevor's opinion. Did she ever say I, me, or my and put her own opinion though? Nope, never. She never said, I think we shouldn't. Or in my class, no, never said it. It's got to all be about other people. So here's my question for you. Here's my question for you. If she doesn't do I, me, or my, why is this I in here? I just told you she doesn't do I, me, or my. Why is this I in here? I just told you she doesn't do I, me, or my, but there's the word I. Why is that one okay? I thought she wasn't doing her opinion. Because someone else is saying I. How do I know it's someone else saying I, Alyssa? How do I know it's someone else saying I? Because it's a quote, right? It's a quote. You can look at the quotation marks and be like, oh, Lexi didn't say this, Anthony said it. Lexi didn't say this, Anthony said it. Guys, what I'm showing you here is kind of how articles work. You get a lot of quotes from people. You get a lot of quotes from people. You get some studies. You do a survey. You talk about the facts, but you never get to share your own opinion. You never get to share your own opinion. If you're like really like, dang, I really want to share my own opinion, you can't. What you can do is you can find someone who has the same opinion as you and then quote them. But you cannot be like, I think, no, you can't do that. We all understand how this works? Now, there's going to be different things here, different kinds of articles, but that same idea applies. So for example, when this person's, Jasmine is writing about Mrs. Stone Rock, do you think in this article, Jasmine ever says, my teacher, Mrs. Stone Rock? Does she ever say my teacher? She would never say my teacher. Why wouldn't she say my teacher? Why would she never say my teacher? Because it's not her opinion, right? We aren't focusing on her opinion. So we don't want it to be like my teacher, or I think she's great, or she's my favorite. Nope, none of that. We don't care. Get rid of all of that. What we want instead is we want facts. So this person, she interviewed Mrs. Stone Rock. She learned about how she was in Alabama. She learned all about different life for her in Alabama. Check out this sentence, by the way. Growing up, Alabama was an important part of Mrs. Stone Rock's life. From the lightning bug to the grits, the summer she spent in Alabama with family were the highlights of her childhood, even once she moved to Colorado. Guys, how did Jasmine get all this information? How did Jasmine get all this information? Interviews, specifically, who did she interview here? She interviewed Mrs. Stone Rock. She interviewed Mrs. Stone Rock. Now, guys, I want you to see, sometimes you can put the interview in quotes, and sometimes you can put the interview in your own words. But you need to make sure you're doing interviews. You need to make sure you're doing interviews. Now, this is all from Mrs. Stone Rock. You guys are going to be writing an article literally today with me. And you're like, wait a minute, how are we going to write an article literally today? I just found out how to write an article like 2 minutes ago. Let's be honest, you guys still don't know how to write an article, which is why we're going to do it together, I promise after today, though, you'll feel a lot more confident. So here's what I need you to do. Remember, your break is over. Go ahead and remind me in the chat, your break is over. Tell me in the chat, break is over. What is break? Break is over. It is done. It is dead. It is buried. It's gone. Break is done. Rest in peace. Goodbye, break. Remember you forever. Rest in power. All that. It's done. It's dead. It's gone. It's buried. And we are moving on. Here we go. Madeline says, I never take breaks. That sounds like the motto of a champion. All right. We're getting to Google Classroom. Get to Google Classroom. Click on the assignment that says article. Click on the assignment that says article. And here is what we're going to start with. We're going to start with article prep. Article prep. So I want you guys to go ahead and click on where it says article prep. Now you'll notice this is 2 whole pages just of prep. So guys, this whole thing that I'm doing here, is this the actual article or is this just preparation for the article? It's just prep. It's just prep. But by having all this information, it will help me write a good article. So I need to do this information in order to be prepared. To complete this page, you'll need to conduct research. When I say conduct research, guys, do I mean that you should know all these answers off the top of your head? When I say conduct research, will you know all these answers off the top of your head? No. You need to look carefully through emails, announcements, videos, articles online. You can also talk directly to someone who's familiar with the event or topic that you are discussing. These are all ways to do research. Look through emails, announcements, videos, articles. Really, when I'm saying articles, I'm talking about like anything online, right? That's like legit. Or talking directly to someone who's familiar with the event or topic that you're discussing. Now, we are going to write an article today about going back to campus. We're going to write an article today about going back to campus. We're all going to write the same article right now. So we're all going to do the same prep. This way, after we do one together, you'll feel more confident and you can do your own on your own. You guys with me? Now we are doing this prep page. So where it says what, you'll notice there's a lot of these W questions. What, who, where, when, why. There's a lot of those W questions. I need you guys to go ahead and come up with me, help me come up with what this is going to be. So the topic of our article, we're going to say what. It's going to be about students returning to campus. Students returning to campus. And it says topic of article, terms, facts, or statistics that other people should know. Well, I think it's important that people know when we go back to campus, how many days a week can students go back on campus? Do you guys know? Yeah, it's only 2 days a week. Students return to campus. Students returning to campus. Students will only return, or students will only be on campus 2 days a week, and we'll do the other 3 days completely online. All right. Now we have 2 bullet points here. Can we add more if we wanted to? Absolutely. So let's add another one. I think there's some other important facts too. Students will be on campus only 2 days a week, and we'll do the other 2 days online. Let's do another fact. What time will the school day still end? Do you guys know? Yep, the school day will still end at 12. Okay, or at noon. And can you pick your days, or are they picked for you? Let's do another fact that people might want to know. Yeah, they're picked for you. They're picked for you. And do you guys know what those 2 days are? So like they're picked for you. Some of you will be what 2 days? Some of you will be what 2 days? It's either A or B, yep. If you're A, do you guys know what 2 days you'll be? Yeah, you'll be Monday and Tuesday. Thanks, Maria. So A schedule will be on campus Monday and Tuesday. B schedule will be on campus. Do you guys know what? Yep, Thursday and Friday. Okay, so those are some of the facts. One more fact. What if you don't want to go onto campus? Maybe you got someone older at home. Maybe you're still a little bit nervous about the coronavirus. Maybe you're waiting until grandma or mom or dad is vaccinated. Maybe you have whatever. What are we going to do then? What are we going to do then? Yeah, Cheryl's right. You're online all day. Students who opt out will be online all day. All right, guys, if you want credit for class today, you need to copy everything that I just wrote onto your article prep. Now, here's what may be nice. Because we're doing this one together, I'm literally copying and pasting everything for you in the chat. But literally everything I write, you need to write too. In the future, you're going to have to do all this on your own. Today, I'm just showing you how. So today, all you got to do is fill it out. You do not have to worry about typing it. You just need to make sure those 5 bullet points are filled out, right? So we're going to write about students returning to campus. Look in the chat, guys. I literally just copied and pasted all 5 of my bullet points. You can put them there. You should have the same 5 bullet points I got. Students are returning to campus. They'll only be on campus 2 days a week, and we'll do the other 3 days completely online. The school day will still end at noon. A schedule will be on campus Monday and Tuesday. B schedule will be on campus Thursday and Friday. And students who opt out will be online all day. All right. That's what our article is going to be about. I brought up some facts. Now notice, it also says you can bring up terms or statistics. I feel like for this one, I don't really need any terms or statistics, but maybe I could find some. Maybe if I talk to Principal Dunn, I can find out, well, how many students are going to be coming back on campus? He might have a number for me, right? That might be a statistic. He might say, well, we have about 500 students coming on Monday and about 450 students coming on Thursday and Friday. He might have a number for me. So I can maybe ask him for that if I wanted that. Terms, if there are any terms people might not understand, I can clarify those. Maybe like a schedule. I might have to clarify what a schedule is. So I'm going to go ahead and do that actually now. A, B schedule. The letter indicated on the schedule you received at the end of the year. And I believe it's also on PowerSchool, am I right? Cheryl, I don't know. You'll have to talk to the council about that. Also available online. Another good fact, thanks, Emily. Students will have to wear a mask at all times. Okay. So I just brought in 2 more things to add to my what. I just brought in a lot of things to my what. But these are all things that I want to include in my article. These are all things I want to include in my article. So notice how I put 2 more bullet points there for you guys to copy and paste. So I now have a total of 7 bullet points under my what? Under my, and I keep saying under my what because like literally it's called what. I'm not asking you guys a question. I'm literally just saying like under my what because that's a what. Now we're going to do under the who, right? Now we're going to do under the who. All right, names and descriptions of people who are important to your article or topic. All right, this seems important. Guys, can you think of any people who might be important for this whole returning to campus thing? Yeah, I think Principal Dunn. I think Principal Dunn. So we're going to go ahead and say Principal Charles Dunn. And why is he important? Why is he important? Well, he's the one who sent out email with the information and the sign up link. Okay. Can you guys think of anyone else who might be important? Parents might be important. Yeah, why are parents important? Because they have to be part of the decision of whether or not to return, and because they're driving you to school. You just add more bullet points, Isaiah, by just after you're done here, you just click enter and it automatically does it. Let's do one others. If you guys had any questions, who do you think you should reach out to? If you had any questions, who do you think you should reach out to? Counseling, right? So the counselors could be important. Or maybe the teachers could be important. Able to answer questions. Okay, so these are some of the who are important. Principal Charles Dunn, parents, counselors, teachers, and we listed why they were important too. So we listed who's important and we listed why they're important. I'm going to go ahead, same thing. If you want credit for class today, you must have this page filled out looking like mine. So here's your first bullet point. Here's your second bullet point. And here's your third bullet point. No worries, Miami. Did you get all of these bullet points we've done so far? Because if not, I can send those to you directly. Okay, I just put the 3 who's in the chat. Did you skip? Can you see the 3 who's, or do you need me to send those to you again, Miami? Here, I just sent them to you anyway. I figured it was easier just to at least send them. All right, cool. So make sure you guys have you got 7 whats so far. You got the 3 who's. And you guys are like, dang, this article is going to be thorough already. Now, while you're copying these down, I want you guys to go ahead and do this with me. We're going to go ahead and go to the email. Once you copied them down, go to your email, type in Charles Dunn. Why am I typing in Charles Dunn? Because that's the principle. We just said it was important. And remember, one of the ways we do research is by talking to someone directly or by looking at the emails. And there is an important email announcement. All right, important return to campus update. Pick that up. Here's what he sent to parents. Okay. So I can look here, and this will help me with some things that might be important. All right. So I'm gonna use this email as I keep going forward. Important locations, places for your article website. Hey guys, I just realized when I type on this, can you see it on your document? You can't see it on your document, right? Like I'm kind of being dumb, I think, but you can't see it on your document. Okay, good. Cool. I was like, I'm sorry if I'm ruining your document. All right, important locations or places for your article. So where? Now I want you to hear me though. This can include physical locations, addresses, but it can also include websites, emails, or social media handles. Those are all wheres too, right? Like Instagram handle can still be a where, right? Like it's a place where you need to go. So if I'm looking here at this email that he sent out, where are some important locations? Email is an important location. Campus is an important location. What about this one? This form is an important location, right? This form is an important uh, an important location because that's the form that you would use if you have any questions. So when we're talking about where, we're going to say where. He says, oops, where he says check your email or phone, and you'll for later this week to find out what schedule you have. So you can check your email or phone later this week to find out what schedule you have. So that's a where. I'm going to go ahead and do a where here. For this where, I'm going to say email or voicemail. And why is that important? Because later this week, you can check, or later this week, a message will be sent there to inform you of whether or not you are on A or B schedule. All right. Another important location is campus. That's an important location. If I look here, though, what does it say about campus, guys? Can you just show up to campus on whatever? Nope, you can't. You cannot show up unless you received what? A confirmation. And that confirmation will come either in a phone message or email. So campus is an important location. Campus is an important location. Campus. Don't show up unless you've don't show up to campus unless you've received a confirmation. And where does that confirmation come? Via email or voicemail. And another where. Let's do this link. All right. This link where you can answer or get any questions answered. That's another important where. So guys, if you look at this, there's not a lot of like where in a physical sense, but there's still some important wheres. Where do you look for your confirmation, email or voicemail? Where do you go if you got confirmation? Campus. Where can you ask questions? Right here. All of that is happening. All of that is happening as part of the where. I'm going to go ahead and put this right here for you. And there's your first bullet point. The link to what in the chat, Abby? Second bullet point and third bullet point. Alrighty, guys. Look how much research we've done already. I love it. Now, some of this information we already knew, some of it we got from talking to each other, and some of it we found by looking at the email. In a lot of cases, like think about the one with Mrs. Stonerock, you'll have to get it from actually talking to someone. Sometimes you'll get it from going online, from doing stuff like that. All right, let's go down to when. Let's go down to when. Now, we already kind of talked a little bit about some of these wins, but let's talk about some of the other ones. Guys, when can we return to campus? I'm going to click here. When is the first day that we can return to campus? Looking at the email, April 12th, that's a Monday. So we're going to go ahead and type that one in. So Monday, April 12th, first day students can return to campus. Notice how I put the date, but I also say why it's important. If you just put April 12th, you're gonna be like, wait, I forgot why it's important. So Monday, April 12th is the first day students can return to campus. What are some other important dates or times related to our article? We kind of already talked about them a little bit up here. I'm gonna actually go ahead and copy and paste this. These A schedule will be on campus Monday and Tuesday. B schedule will be on campus Thursday and Friday. That seems like it should go into the when section. And I'm also going to go ahead and do students will be, the school day will still end at noon. That's also going to go under my when section. So under my when, I now have three things. Monday, April 12th is the first day students can return to campus. A schedule will be on campus Monday and Tuesday. B schedule will be on campus Thursday and Friday. The school day will still end at noon. And I think there's one other one we should do too. Guys, when should you expect that phone call or email telling you if you have A or B schedule? When should you expect that? Yeah, this week. So we're going to say by the end of this week, students will receive a voicemail or email letting them know what schedule they have. Okay. Or what schedule they are on, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and type these in the chat. And I want you guys to go ahead and do them for me. So we have a lot of our wins so far. 4 different wins. Notice how thorough this information is. We can write an awesome essay. Not essay, article using this information, right? This is just like a normal journalist, not just a student journalist, but a normal journalist getting all the facts before they start writing. Now we want to get to the why. One reason why students will want to have this information or benefit from knowing this. Now, if I look back here at the email, I can find one major reason. Guys, one reason why students will want to know this, if you did not complete the survey, you will remain in distance learning automatically. So one reason why students might want to know this is because if they didn't complete the survey, they aren't going to be coming on to campus. In other words, if you did not do that, you will need to complete that survey. Now, check this out. If you did not complete the return to campus form and want your student to return to campus, we will send out information early next week on how to complete that process. So even if they haven't done it yet, they can do it when? They haven't completed the survey, they still can do it early next week. They can still do it early next week, which kind of goes back to our one a little bit, but here we go. Why does a student want to know this? Students can only return to campus if they have completed the survey sent out via email. And that survey will be sent again at the beginning of next week. So this is an important reason for students to know this information. Some students, maybe even some of the students here in this class, you guys are like, hey, I'm excited to go back. Some of you are like, I'm not going back. Some of you are though, you're like, I'm excited to go back. You're gonna show up on that day, ready to go back. And then you're like, sorry, you don't get to come because you didn't complete the survey. So this is why students should want to know this information. Students can only return to campus. So we put that under the why. All right, guys. I want you to go ahead and think like a student, think like a friend. Can I be completely honest? Think like your kind of dumb friend. If you guys are like, I don't have a kind of dumb friend, maybe that's because the kind of dumb friend is you. I don't know. But think, oh, you don't have a clarification on your doc? I'm going to go ahead and add that for you right now. Sorry, I don't know how that happened, but here's a clarification. You guys probably don't have the poll then either. So you can go ahead and copy that clarification. But you do have the poll, just not the clarification. Some of you guys have the clarification, some of you guys don't. All right, it's weird. I don't know. Some of you guys got it, some of you don't. Whatever. If you don't have it, now add the clarification. Now, guys, do you have to do the clarification? Like, if you pay attention to this one word, you should kind of already know the answer. Do you have to do the clarification? No, you do not. But here's the deal with the clarification. For most articles, you're going to want to do the clarification anyway. I want you to think like kind of your dumb friend, like not your all the way dumb friend, not your dumbest friend, but like your kind of dumb friend. And I want you to think, what are the questions your kind of dumb friend would be asking right now? That they're like, wait a minute, I'm confused about. Tell me in the chat, what are some of the things that they might still be a little confused about? Like I said, don't do your all the way dumb friend. I don't want you to be like, wait, where's campus again? I'm not asking for like dumb questions. I'm asking for like questions where you're like, okay, like they might need just a little bit more clarification. Maybe they didn't read the email super carefully. Like the friend who calls you in is like, wait, can you clarify? What are some of the questions that that person would be asking? Tell me in the chat. What are some of those questions? And then we'll see if we can answer them before they even ask. What time does school end? All right, so we already mentioned earlier that school ends at noon, right? Okay, so we'll mention that here again. School ends at noon. School ends at noon, but students can still come to office hours. Office hours, not in person though, office hours virtually from 1:30 to 3. Okay, so we answered that question. How do we know which schedule we have? Students will receive an email and phone call later this week informing them of their schedule. All right, what day or classes do they go to on that specific day? So on Mondays and Thursdays, students will attend their first 3 periods for 80 minutes each. On Tuesdays and Fridays, students will attend their last 3 periods for 80. Well, we'll attend, we're going to say periods 4, 5, and 6 for 80 minutes each. Okay. This is exactly, the schedule is exact, will follow the distance learning schedule Eastside has been using all year. I think one of your friends might ask, what do they do for period 0 or period 7? Any of you guys have period 0 or period 7? What do you do now for period 0 and period 7? Let's talk about period 0 first. Does anyone know when period 0 means? 0 period? Awkward waiting. They meet at 6:20 on what day? What day does 0 period meet? Ooh, it seems like this might be something that we would need to research a little bit. Oh, some of you guys already know. Okay, so zero period meets at 6:20 on Mondays, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Anyone know when seventh period meets? After sixth period? Okay, what time after sixth period and what days? Tuesdays and Fridays, yep, but it would be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Am I correct? It's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or is it just Tuesdays and Fridays? Someone who has seventh period. Now, zero period would meets on campus at 6:20 on Mondays and Thursdays. No one's going to meet on campus on Wednesdays, so I'm going to do that. Seventh period meets on campus at 12:15, I think it is, on Tuesdays and Fridays. All right, guys, so here are some of our clarification things at 12 noon. Okay, at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays and Fridays. All right, so there's one of our clarifications. There's our second clarification. Third clarification. And our fourth clarification. So literally see how we're trying to answer all the questions before anyone even asks. We're trying to get all the information out there. See if I can Google seventh period and see. Okay. All right. So it looks like seventh is just gonna be normal times. All right. So we've got all of our stuff here. Now, guys, we're gonna do a poll. Again, a poll is optional, meaning do you have to do a poll for everything? Do you have to do a poll for every article? No, you do not. No, you do not. But we are gonna do one. We are gonna do one. A question about your topic with only two possible choices. Two possible choices. All right, guys, I want you to go ahead and tell me in the chat, what is a question that we can post on Instagram about going back to campus that would have only two possible choices? That might be something we can use in our article. Give me a question in the chat. Do you want to return to campus? Do you want to return to campus? So you can be asking the students that specifically. Some students might want to return to campus, but they aren't allowed, maybe because of their parents or because of concerns that way. But you can ask students if they want to return to campus, and so you can have a survey that way. Give me some other questions you might ask. Do you want to return to campus? No, we aren't going to do who do you want to see at campus, Emily, because we need a question with only two possible choices. Are you going to return to campus? Alyssa, we could do that one too, but I don't want to do that one because that one, we would actually get better information by going to Principal Dunn and asking him directly how many students are going to campus. So you can, that one, Instagram is not going to be our best bet that way. We could just go directly to Principal Dunn and ask that way. We want an opinion question here. So do you want to return to question? Want is an opinion. Do you think the school should be reopening for hybrid education? Jasmine asked that question. So maybe 70% of students think it should be reopening. Maybe 70% of students think it shouldn't be reopening, but that would be a great one. Anthony, what are your hopes to happen? Not a good question. Why, guys, help me out. Why is Anthony's not a good question? Remember this part. Anthony and Emily's questions might seem like good ones, but they aren't good questions for a poll. Why not? Because it's not a question that can only have two possible choices. We need something that can only have two possible choices. Here's an option. Do you think it's safe for campus to reopen? Do you think it's safe for campus to reopen? That one has two possible answers, right? Miami says, do you have any worries about COVID as you return to campus? Are you still worried about COVID? Now, Miami's question sounds very formal, but if we're going to put it on Instagram, we need to make it a little shorter. So that's why simplified it. Are you still worried, or are you worried about COVID when you return to campus? So these are questions we can ask. These are questions we should ask. I'm going to go ahead and give them to you one more time. And you guys are going to pick for me right now. And we're going to post it on Instagram right now and see people's responses as we keep going. Alyssa had a good one with, do you want to return to campus? I like Alyssa's. Do you want to return to campus? Jasmine had a good one with, do you think campus, or do you think school should be reopening right now? Do you think school should be reopening right now for hybrid education? Alyssa said, do you think it's safe to go back to school? Miami said, are you still worried about COVID after we return to campus? I want you guys to go ahead and pick for me in the chat. Which one do you want us to ask? I'm going to go ahead and ask one on the Biomed, not the Biomed, sorry, the PrideSource Instagram. I run 2 Instagrams for the school. Go ahead and tell me, which one should we ask? Abby wants to ask, do you think it's safe? Other people, Cheryl wants to ask, are you worried about COVID? Do you want to return? Oh, you guys are not making this easy for me. You're just dividing it up. I was hoping you guys would all like have one thing, but you all are giving me different ones. Help me out, guys. Give me votes. Do you think it's safe? All right, Diana. Diana was saying about, do you think it's safe to return to campus on April 12th? I'm going to go ahead and post that in just a second. While I'm posting that, can you guys go ahead and make sure you have all your bullet points with me? Return to campus on April 12th. And when you type this up, you also want to have the 2 options that you're going to give. Most of them are going to be yes or no, but some of them might not be. Some of them might be a question like you maybe have a, I don't know, a battle or something, and you're like, which teacher has the most swag? And it's Singh or it's, I don't know, Gomez. And then like people have to vote, and you can have like a whole article about the teacher with the most swag. All right, guys. I know this sounds weird because I normally am all like, hey, make sure you're focused on the class stuff. If you got Instagram, go follow PrideSource today. I just put the link in the chat. That's where all of our things are going to be. No, Alyssa, we don't need any more questions. We could do more, but really just one will be okay. Go follow PrideSource today, and you can actually click on our stories and cast your vote right now if you want. PrideSource today, I just put it in the chat. Go follow it. It's the school paper. E. Grace Rod just followed us. Thanks, E. Grace Rod. And now I'm waiting awkwardly on the rest of you. Thanks, Emily. Everyone else is like, I don't know if I want to follow you from my spam account or my real account. I don't know if I want you knowing what my account is. I'm not going to follow you. I just want you to follow the school account since you're going to be writing for the paper and all that. Like, you think I want to follow you? No, for real though. Once you guys graduate, if you ever, I'm on Twitter. If any of you guys are on Twitter and you want me to follow you once you graduate, you can totally ask me. Literally, I've had students ask me the moment they get their diploma, they like come down and like, Mr. Tilton, can you follow me on Twitter right now? But I'm not going to follow any students, obviously, while you guys are students. And I'm not going to follow you on Instagram or whatever, because these are like school accounts. But I do have a personal Twitter if you want to do it there. All right. So cast those votes if you guys want. And then we're going to come back to that one. We're going to go do all the other stuff, and we'll come back to that poll in just a bit. Right now, though, we have our responses. Currently, we've got 6 responses. I'm going to let people vote on that in this class and in from other things too. We'll get more responses and we'll come back to that. When I was using that Pride Source more often, we would often get like 80 votes on a thing. Obviously, I'm not expecting to get 80 votes right now because it's been like 8 months since we posted on it. So moving down here, we did page 1, but guys, we are not done yet. We're now on page 2. We're now on page 2. Actually, to be honest, page 1 turned into page 2 because we put so much good information on it. Can I ask you guys right now, have we even started writing the article yet? Have we even started writing the article yet? Nope, we have not. Before you start writing an article, you have to do this prep. Do you guys know what it's called? It starts with the letter B, starts with the letter R. There's a couple words for what we're doing right now. Before you start writing an article, you have to brainstorm, yes, and you also have to do what? Starts with the letter R too. So we have brainstorm, and what else do we have to do? We have to research. We have to brainstorm, we have to research. We have to brainstorm, we have to research. And then we write after we do the brainstorming and researching. So today, are we even going to start writing our actual article? No. Are we going to do all the brainstorming and researching? Yes, 100%. All right, you guys understand how that works? So we're doing brainstorming and researching today. We're on quotes from student now. All responses must be complete sentences. Now, typically, I would say this. You guys should not interview anyone at all who writes for the school paper, because that seems like a conflict of interest. You're interviewing a reporter, doesn't seem right. So here's what I'm curious about. Do any of you guys have any siblings who go to Eastside right now who want to come and join us? You got a sibling who goes to Eastside? Abby, go get your sibling. Unless they're probably in class, huh? I just realized they're probably in 6th period too. Never mind. Don't get your sibling. We'll make a one-time exception just for today. A one-time exception just for today, guys, of actually interviewing a student in class. Typically, should you interview anyone in this class for your articles? Tell me in the chat. Should you? Nope, we never interview anyone in this class for our stuff. You have to interview other people. Is it okay to interview your friends? Absolutely. Is it okay to interview a complete stranger who also goes to Eastside? Absolutely. Is it okay to interview the cute girl that you got a crush on that you never actually talked to, but she might be impressed that you work for the school paper? Absolutely. Is it cool to interview that cute dude who kind of looks a little bit like One Direction back when they were in high school? Is it okay to interview them? Because who knows, maybe they're going to be impressed by someone with brains. You guys got a little nervous at that. Heck yeah, but more like Mikey Williams. I don't know who Mikey Williams is. But yes, you can. You can literally interview anyone that you want. But I want you guys to see that there are two things. You got to do one from a student and one from faculty. When I say faculty, who am I talking about? Staff, teachers. Give me some other people on campus besides teachers. Who are some other people on campus who would count as faculty? Teachers are definitely them. Who else? Any of the VPs, the principals, the counselors. Can you guys interview the janitor? Absolutely. Can you interview like the para who works with the special ed classrooms? Absolutely. Anyone on campus who's an adult. Now, here's a question for you guys. I require at least 2 interviews, one from a student, one from a faculty for every single article. Can you do more than 2 interviews? Absolutely. If you wanted to interview 5 students, that's cool. Interview 5 students, but you also have to interview a faculty member. You can't be like, I interviewed 5 students, so that way I'm not going to interview a faculty member. No, you can't be like, I'm just kind of like shy, so I'm just going to interview my teachers and I'm not going to interview another student. Nah, you got to do a student and you got to do a faculty member, both. Got it? Deal? Understand? You can always do more, but you cannot do less. You have to interview at least 1 student and at least 1 faculty member. All right, who's going to be our volunteer? Someone whose mic works, who is going to answer some questions for us in just a second. You know what? I'm going to pick you. But first, let's come up with what those questions are. Guys, remember, our focus is on returning to campus. Let's come up with some questions. What are some questions you think that we should ask this person when we do our interview? We're going to ask this person some questions. Type some questions in the chat. What questions do you think would make for some good quotes as they're getting ready to come back to campus? And by the way, never ask a yes or no question here. Earlier, we were doing yes or no questions here. Never ask a yes or no question here. If you ask a yes or no question, you know what their answer is going to be? It's going to be yes or no. And you're going to be like, that's stupid. I can't use that. I can't quote you saying yes. I'm not going to have like a Miami Dugas, Eastside High School senior says yes. No, that's stupid. You got to have a good question that's not a yes or no. So Emily's, how do you feel about returning to campus? That's a great question because they can't say yes. If they do, they're just dumb. How do you feel about returning to campus? Yes. No, no, that doesn't work. How do you feel about returning to campus? They got to answer that as a complete question. Give me another question. That's question number one. Give me another question. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've only said your first name, and I just realized as it was coming out of my mouth, being like, I don't actually know how to say her last name. I really like this kid. I don't know how to say her last name. I've had her in my class for 2 years. I have no idea. I just call you Miami. How do I say it?
Well, I say Duguay's, but since it's French, you probably say Duguay.
Duguay. Duguay's. All right. Both of them sound way better than Dugas. I'm sorry. Dugas sounds bad.
It sounds like you're saying Dookie.
I know it sounds like I'm combining Dookie and Doofus at the same time. I'm like really, really the worst pronunciation. All right. I like DDs. Do you feel this will be more beneficial for your mental health? I like DDs except for what? Guys, DDs, can you answer DD's question in a yes or no? Look at it. Do you feel this will be more beneficial for your mental health? You can literally just be like, yes, it will be more beneficial, or no, it will not be more beneficial. Is that a good quote? No, that's not a good quote. So we need to change it so it's not a yes or no. I want you to take DDs. I want you to ask about mental health. And I want you to go ahead and tell me a better way to ask that question that is not going to be yes or no. And you guys want to know the trick? I literally just told you the trick. Starts with 2 words. The words are tell me. I know I'm calling it a question, but if you say tell me, they can't say yes or no. Write a sentence for me that starts with the word tell me. Write a sentence for me that starts with the word tell me, and then ask students something about their mental health. Isaiah, that's a yes or no question. Also, it's scientifically like demonstrated. That's not an opinion question. Tell me how you think your mental health will be if you go back to school. I like it, Emily. Tell me if you think this will be beneficial to your mental health. I like it, Didi. I think it could be a little bit stronger if we change up a little bit. What about something like this? What about something like this? Jasmine, dang, good. Okay, tell me how you personally feel this will, and instead of contribute, I'm going to say impact your mental health, because contribute means like add to it. And for some people, it might not actually add to it, right? If someone's like suffers from severe anxiety, maybe they want to stay on distance learning, whatever. But tell me how you personally feel this will impact your mental health. Boom, I love it. Question 3. Again, I need another question that is not a yes or no. Some of you guys said this earlier. Emily said, who are you most excited to see? What are you most excited for when you are returning? If you're returning. I like it. Let's go with Diana's. What are you most excited for? And let's do when you return, because we only want to interview probably someone who's returning, right? Now, if you're like, but what if we want to interview someone who's not returning? Cool. Maybe you have another quote section where you interview another student who's not returning. And you would probably come up with different questions, right? What are you most excited for when you return? The person's like, I'm not returning. That's a dumb question. So maybe you would say, tell me the reasons why you aren't returning. And they can talk about that. Now, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Their responses have to be complete sentences. So when they respond, you might have to dig in a little bit to get those complete sentences. Who's going to be my Miami? Since I now know how to pronounce your last name, you are going to be my volunteer student. I just volunteered you. I voluntold you. Udagi Miami Duguez. You're in school. Miami, you're a senior, right?
Yeah.
Are you returning to campus?
Yeah.
Okay, senior returning to campus. Cool. So Miami, I'm going to ask you some questions, and thank you so much for agreeing to be part of my article. I'm really excited to write this, and you are just going to be a perfect person to spotlight with this. So how do you feel about returning to campus?
Um, to be honest, I feel whatever. I'm just trying to get my work done.
I'm
And
just I'm just trying to
yeah,
get my work done. What do you mean by that?
try and graduate because this online thing ain't for me, to be honest.
Boom. Guys, did I write down her entire answer? Tell me in the chat, did I write down her entire answer? I did not write down her entire answer. I just wrote down some of the parts that stood out the most to me, what I'm calling the relevant portions. Now, I did write them out as a complete sentence, but I did not write down her whole answer. I just said, I'm just trying to get my work done. This online thing ain't for me, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this for you in the chat in just a bit, guys. But first, let's ask Miyami question number 2. Miyami, tell me how you personally feel this will impact your mental health.
It won't, to be honest.
And why is that? Why won't going back to school impact your mental health?
Because I don't know how to describe it.
No worries. I'm going to ask some follow-up questions, which is totally something we do. Do you feel like on distance learning, you've been doing okay emotionally?
No, school's stressful.
School's stressful. Do you think it will be any less stressful when we go back in person?
I hope so because like if I'm in person, then I'll actually be able to like reach out to the teachers for help.
All right, so here's what I took away. School's stressful. If I'm in person, I'll actually be able to reach out to teachers for help. Yeah? Okay. Guys, did I write down her entire answer? I did not write down her entire answer. Can I be completely honest with you guys? If you write down their entire answer, you're going to make your friend sound dumb. Miyami's incredibly smart. She's about to graduate high school. She's incredibly smart. But you know what? If I wrote it down, you know what it would look like? It'd be like this. School's stressful. To be honest, not really. I don't know. That's what it sounds like if you write down the whole thing. Guys, don't do that to your friends. That's like mean. That's mean. You just write down the part that makes them sound the most intelligent. That is the complete full sentence. Does that make sense? Don't just be like word for word, word for word, word for word, word for word when they say like and whatever. Like just do the things in the like the most important stuff. Yami, you are doing great. What are you most excited for when you return?
Maybe seeing people that I know.
Can you tell that to me as a full sentence? Because as a reporter, I'm not supposed to put my own words. I'm just trying to report on yours. So can you tell me as a full sentence? Maybe start it with the words I'm most excited for.
I'm most excited for seeing people that I know.
To see people that I know. Is there, and I'm going to ask some follow-up questions. Are there any people in particular that you want to see?
No, not really.
No. And how long has it been since you've seen some of these people that you know?
Saturday because I had a birthday party.
Saturday. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was hoping you were going to give me some great quote about like, I haven't seen them since we last camp. No, it's like Saturday. All right. Thanks, Yami. All right, guys. I got my quotes. I got my quotes. Guys. When you are getting your quotes, you can get them over the phone. You can get them over FaceTime. You can get them over Zoom. You can get them over Google Meets. You can get them over text. You can get them over email. You can get your quotes. But here's the thing I will tell you. If you're going to do it like I did, you might need to ask some follow-up questions. So notice how the first time she answered this one, tell me how you personally feel this will impact your mental health. She said, it won't, to be honest. That is not a good quote. I can't really use that one because it won't doesn't make a lot of sense there. But then I asked some follow-up questions. Can you guys tell me if someone gives you an answer that doesn't really help you out too much, what do you do? If someone gives you an answer that doesn't really help you out too much, what do you do? And I've said this phrase like 5 times now. Starts with an F. Not that F, some of you guys. You ask follow-up questions. You ask follow-up questions. You ask follow-up questions. Let's go ahead and switch it up. Miyami, you've been doing so good. I'm going to switch it up for you now. What are you most excited for when you return? I want you to ask me that question, and then I'm going to give you a dumb answer, and I want you to give me a follow-up to make sure you get a good quote from me. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and ask.
Okay. Mr. Tilton, what are you most excited for when returning to school?
Everything.
What do you mean? What,
Well,
like, yeah.
I just can't wait to see students. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, how long has it been? I don't know, but
It's been over a year at this point since I've last been in the classroom with students. I'm ready for that to change.
mm-hmm. And
All right,
how
guys,
has
I want
it
to pause. I want to
evolved
pause. One,
for you?
Miami's doing amazing. Guys, this was the answer to my first question. What are you most excited for when I return? I said everything. Guys, is everything a good quote that you can put in your chat or like in your article? Mr. Tilton says everything. That's dumb. That's dumb AF. Haha. I cannot cuss, but I can use letters because I'm an English teacher. What are you most excited for when you return? I said everything. That's stupid. But then she gave me some follow-up. So she said, well, what do you mean by that? And then I said, and this would be a good quote, I'm just excited to see students again. It's been a long time. And then that quote right there, you're like, oh, that's a good quote. Thanks. I can use that in my article. See how you got to ask this follow-up sometimes. So you got to ask the follow-up questions. All right, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste everything from Yami as one giant message. You ready? Giant message. Go ahead and put it in your thing. I love how like only 10 of you guys followed us on Instagram. I know some of you already did. Some of you guys are like, I am not following you on Instagram, Mr. Tilton. You cannot use me to prop up your numbers. I get it. Respect. I got to earn your follow. All right, we are not done yet, but we are getting closer. We are not done yet, but we are getting closer. So Jerome, remember I pasted the stuff on in the chat. So all you have to do is click the three dots next to it and then click copy, and then you can paste it in your document. Now in the chat here on Zoom, click the three dots next to the stuff I paste there, click copy, and then you can go to bits right there. All right, quotes from faculty, quotes from faculty. Now, guys, when I'm talking about faculty, I'm talking about a teacher. Now, in this case, you might be like, can I interview Mr. Tilton? Guys, you know what the answer is always going to be when you ask if you can interview me? Just guess, put it in the chat. What do you think the answer is going to be when you ask if you can interview me? The answer is always going to be no. Some of you guys think I'm going to say yes. No, the answer is always going to be no. Not because I'm trying to be mean, but because I'm the one who decides if it gets published or not. You know how weird it is to read your own quotes and be like, yeah, I'm going to publish that. Oh, I'm going to publish that. I'm going to publish that. It makes it sound like I'm liking my own like Facebook post or something. That's stupid. I'm not going to be like publishing articles that I'm quoted in. That's weird. I'm not going to do that. It shouldn't have an article about me in any way that I'm going to be deciding whether or not it gets published. Because I'm not going to publish all your guys' stuff. I'm only going to decide what gets published based on how good it is. I don't want any of you guys being like, man, if I interview Mr. Tilton, I'm going to get published for sure because Mr. Tilton's got a big ego and he wants to publish himself. No, that's stupid. So we're going to go ahead and interview Mrs. Coffee. Any of you guys have Miss Coffee as a teacher? At the end of the period, Abby, in 8 minutes. You guys have Miss Coffee as a teacher? Desiree does. Omar has, yeah, she's really nice. She's one of my favorite people on campus. Does anyone know her position? What does she teach? What does she teach? Okay, she's a biomed teacher. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and for our position, put biomed teacher. All right, so biomed teacher, Karen Coffee. All right, now I'm going to come up with some questions, but to be honest, guys, I'm really going to like be honest with you here. I already asked her these questions, so I'm just going to copy paste them. Here's the question I asked. I said, what aspect of having students back on campus makes you the most excited? Is that a yes or no question? Is that a yes or no question? No, right? Because remember the whole thing is I don't want to do any yes or no questions. And here was her response. She said, I'm just so excited to be with other people. I'm also excited about doing labs with my students. Now, you guys want to know the email I sent her? Was a very important part of the email. Here's the email I sent her. You notice the part I did in bold? What did I ask her to do? If she was going to respond via email, what did I ask her to do? Full sentences. Because if she responded and she said, what are you most excited? She's like, other people. I can't quote that, Karen. So I need this to make sure it's in complete sentences, right? So I ask my second question. Then I go here. What about aspect of having students back on campus makes you the most nervous? I'm nervous about safety and people following the rules to keep everyone safe. Honestly, you know what? I don't really like the last part of her quote. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to erase the last part of her quote and just stop after following the rules. And you're like, dang, are you allowed to do that for quotes? Of course. If it's not changing the meaning and it's making her sound more intelligent and not switching out any words, I can cut a short quote off early. But it didn't sound as smart when it said following the rules to keep people safe when she also said safety earlier. So I'm just going to go ahead and have this here. And one more response from Karen. Question number 3. What are you hoping for during this final quarter of in-person learning? I'm going to go ahead and go here. Now, guys, I want to ask you in the chat as I'm getting her answer. If you emailed your student or your teacher to respond to you on this, I'm not going to lie. I think a lot of teachers are really busy and they probably wouldn't respond to you right away. What's a better way to get your teachers to respond to you right away? What could you do? Literally, they have it 4 days a week, by the way. They have it 4 days a week. You can go to it and you can ask them questions and they like have to, legally like have to because their job depends on it, answer your questions when you go there. Yep, you go to office hours. If you go to office hours and you say, hey, I'm doing a survey or I'm asking questions for a school paper or for the school paper, it's an article, and you ask it at office hours, I guarantee you they're going to respond. But let's be honest, if you send an email, how many of you guys have ever sent an email to a teacher that they never got back to you about? A few of you guys have. How many of you guys have sent an email to a teacher and then they get back to you like a week later after the assignment was already due and you were like, man, I tried to reach out to them and they never got back to me. And then you get a 0 on the assignment because you didn't do it. How many of you guys have had that happen before? They got back to you, sorry, it's so late. I meant to respond to this earlier, but I got busy. You know how it is with the grading. Bruh, go to office hours. Ask the questions there. Go to office hours. You could literally even go to office hours and be like, hey, I just sent you an email. Can you respond to it really quickly for me? Like while I'm here, I need to do this for my school paper. But you do that there. All right, guys, we literally have filled out everything except for one thing. Do you guys remember the one thing we haven't filled out? It's the poll. We haven't filled out the poll yet. You want to see the poll results? I'm going to go ahead and click on it. We'll find out the poll results. So far on this poll, we have had 29 votes. So on the poll, I'm going to say nearly 30 students surveyed. Nearly 30 students were surveyed. And the results currently are showing that 62% do not think it is safe to return. Now, if I left it up there more, I would obviously have more responses, but right now I have 29 responses, 60%, 2% do not think it's safe to return. I'm just going to delete the poll for right now, and we've got all of our stuff. Yep, this is due at 12, which is why I've been posting everything in the chat for you guys so you can copy and paste it. All right, so guys, if you look, I now have my entire thing done. I have my whats, my whos, my wheres, my whens, my whys, my clarification, my poll. I have quotes from Miami. I have quotes from Karen Coffey, and I am ready to start writing my article when we come back tomorrow. You're supposed to copy the missed copy part as well. Here, I'll put the missed copy part in there for you. There's the missed copy part for you. All right. Now, I have not actually taken roll yet. I'm going to take roll really quickly. But I'll tell you guys, the only way you're going to get credit for work today is before you leave, making sure you do what we just did on